Hi, my name is Gwen Peterson. I'm a certified health coach with Take Shape for Life. And I wanted to make a video for the clients that are struggling on the 5-in-1 to stay focused. Now, for those of you guys that have watched my videos before, I normally try to keep them short, but I'm going to kind of walk you through the entire process of how something has evolved for me. And hopefully, if you stay watching through the end, it might speak to you about what's been going on in your journey. You just haven't been able to pinpoint what's been going on for yourself. So if you are a client that is doing great on the 5-in-1, then this video is not for you because you are in a different place than the people that are watching this video. So for those of you that have done the 5-in-1, lost a lot of weight, and then all of a sudden you kind of had a weekend that you went off course or whatever the reason you deviated was, and now you are struggling to get back on plan and you have started and stopped so many times, you're sick of hearing yourself saying, I'm going to start tomorrow. This video is for you. So I want to teach you something that I was teaching coaches this weekend and tell you where I had to, if you want to say, peel the onion or dig a little deeper for myself because of why it wasn't speaking exactly to me. So the first thing that we talk to clients about if they're struggling or this is something new that we're teaching, Dave Blanchard with the Augmandino group put together this training to teach us how to talk to our clients about commitment, metacognition, and equanimity. And so basically what it is the first thing is commitment. And we ask our clients, what is something that you have committed to in your past 100%? No trapdoors, no exit strategies, you were all in. And most of my clients will say, oh, it was when I chose to get married. I say, all right, well, okay, when you got married, did you say, well, if he cheats on me or I cheat on him a few times, we'll just rework on our marriage on Monday? No, you didn't do that. And or what if your husband's leaving for Vegas and he's like, well, I'll try to stay faithful. We'll see how it goes. Not okay, right? So why is it that we have built trapdoors into our journey on the 5-in-1? Well, I'm going to a weekend wedding, or, oh, I'm going out of town, right? We all have this. And I think part of the thing is many of us are people that are, I'm all in or I'm all out, you know, and so all of a sudden when you end up eating a handful of fish crackers, you're now off plan for 4 days because tomorrow's not Monday, tomorrow's Friday. So people say, you know, I'm an all or nothing kind of a person. Well, if that's you, hopefully this makes sense for you. So for me, as I'm teaching this, so we say, okay, what if you were 100% on program? How would that make you feel? And what would be different for you? And for me, I have figured out, for me, when I'm not doing great on plan, the amount of negative things I say to myself about myself is enough that if every time I said something, had a negative thought, if I hit myself with a baseball bat, I would be black and blue. I think a lot of you will relate to that. So I realized for me, what that creates when I'm doing really well on plan is I get that equanimity. It's that peace of mind. It shuts down that chatter and I'm happier in general. So if you could commit to being on plan 100%, would your outcome look like equanimity? Well, great. Well, the middle word is metacognition, and us as human beings are the only living thing that has the ability to step back from our thoughts and choose something different. So for an animal, let's say they find a piece of meat, they don't have the ability to even question. They just go for that meat, where we have the ability to step back and think about what we actually want and make a different choice. So that's where Dr. A's Stop, Challenge, and Choose comes in. And you can go read those chapters in Dr. A's Habits of Health for you to understand that you stop, you process what decision you're thinking about making, and then make the choice that you want. But for me, this is where my disconnect has been happening, is because I lost a lot of weight, I hit my goal weight, had some illnesses happen, and then I bounced literally in the 7 same pound window for the last year. And so am I in my BMI? No, but I actually look pretty darn good. And I was joking on stage this last weekend that, you know, if I ever need an ego boost, all I have to do is go to Walmart because I look better than 80% of the people at Walmart, right? So that's my problem, is I just haven't been motivated enough to stay focused enough for like what, 6 weeks to get this last 15 pounds off. So I realized my why has changed. When I started this program, I was desperate to feel good. I was desperate to actually like what I saw in the mirror. I was at that desperate mode that if they had told me I needed to eat dirt 5 times a day and eat 1 lean and green out of the grocery store, I would have eaten dirt 5 times a day if I knew it would have created the results that this program creates. So that's how I got through a lot of those pounds and even got down to my goal weight. And then I got sick. That's what threw me off the first round of all of this. And then just kind of staying engaged for long enough time is just not clicked. But I figured out for me, I needed a new why because my why had changed. So for me, as I explained in our client support group, is that I have these spider veins in my legs that are to the point where they've like pooled in circles. So if I was to wear like a shorter skirt or something, people will go, how did you bruise your leg? Oh, they're spider veins. So for me, I've wanted for years to get them injected because they're big enough where they can't laser them down to reroute. They're not big enough where like they're going to reroute and I'm going to have pain other way. They're tiny, but there's a whole bunch of them. So I had them priced about a year ago, and it's between $700 and $800 to get that done. So all of a sudden I was like, dang, I'm not normally going to pull $700 or $800 out of my family's budget to get this done. But if I could earn something that I really want, but I normally wouldn't spend money on, that motivates me. So a week ago, I decided that every 30 days or 31 days, whichever the month is, I would pull $310 out of the bank every month when I get paid in $10 bills. And every day I stay perfect on plan, I put $10 in my earn jar. And since I really only have 15, well, I probably could lose 25 pounds. I think that would be a little low for me, but let's say the numbers. We know when women stay on plan 100%, every month they lose between 10 and 12 pounds. So realistically, I knew that if I needed to earn $750, that's 75 days on plan. That's 2.5 months. I will easily have that 15 pounds off, and I don't even need to step on the scale because I know how this program works. It is proven results if you're doing it the way that it's written. So that has gotten my brain in a very different place because I now have a legit why that I want to achieve. So when I was speaking about this, this is kind of what made sense to me. It made sense to a lot of people. And then I had the opportunity to talk to my coach's coach, and she said, so Gwen, let's talk about the 15 pounds you have on you. Why do you want to lose the 15 pounds? Do you think you're not healthy? And I'm like, well, I don't like this excess spare tire. And she's like, well, is your self-worth attached to that? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Just I'm not where I want to be. So then she asked me some very pointed questions that I hope will resonate with you. So she said, do you feel like you're a healthy person? And I said, well, I have 15 pounds to lose, so I'm not really that healthy. And she goes, no, take the scale out of the equation. Are you a healthy person? So then I'm like, well, 80% of the time I'm healthy because that's when I'm staying on plan. She's like, no, take the program, take the scale out of the equation. Are you a healthy person? I never thought about it that way. Well, I don't get sick very often. I have energy again, and I feel pretty good. I don't get injured very often. So yeah, in the normal world, I'm pretty healthy. I just have a few pounds to lose. And she's like, all right. So on this notion, I want to ask you, a lot of people would say fruit in this scenario. I'm not a fruit lover, so that's not me. So she said, what's something that's a healthy choice outside of the 5 and 1 that you don't eat anymore because it would skew the 5 and 1 numbers? And I said, I love steel cut oats, like oatmeal, with a little cinnamon and sugar in it. And she goes, how many carbs do you think that is? And I said, it's 40 carbs. I already know the numbers. And she said, okay, what if every morning you paired that 40 carb oatmeal with 8 egg whites? So now the egg whites equal 8 egg whites are 40 grams of protein, and your oatmeal is 40 grams of carbs, 40-40, right? You know that through MyFitnessPal, that website, MyFitnessPal, you plug something in, it kicks out the numbers. What if every morning you ate the oatmeal you loved and had the eggs to balance it out? What do you think of that? And I'm like, well, those 40 carbs are going to throw me out of fat burn. And she goes, well, how's fat burn working for you? You keep going off plan and you're not losing. And she goes, and most of your clients on the 5 and 1, once they start yo-yoing, are gaining in the 5 and 1 process. So let's go back to that. What if you're not in fat burn, but that's the one thing that you love that you eat instead of one of our fuelings in the morning, you eat that oatmeal and you're not in fat burn, but now you're not in that deprivation mode that is what makes you go off the 5 and 1 and either stay stagnant or gain, where if this was your thing you did every morning, you're not going to lose as fast as you would on the 5 and 1. But Gwen, you're not losing on the 5 and 1 right now. You're either staying stable or gaining because you're not staying on the 5 and 1. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I never have thought about that. So she said, you're still going to lose. It'll be at a slower rate, but it takes that deprivation out of the game. And I said, okay. She said, what's the one thing that's not a healthy choice that is the thing that you always stay away from? I'm like, well, chips aren't always in my equation. Like, it's only if I go to a Mexican restaurant. Weirdly enough, if I have chips in my pantry, I can say no to those. But if I have Sam's Club cupcakes on my counter or Sam's Club cake, I can't even breathe in the house. Like, I don't know, you know? So she said, all right, how many carbs would you say are in that? And I said, well, probably about 40 carbs as well. And she said, all right, what if you allowed yourself to have that cupcake? I'm like, I don't know. She goes, the carbs are the same as the oatmeal. You're envisioning it different. What if you allowed yourself every night to have that cupcake with your lean and green? So your lean and green at night, let's say, would normally be 6 ounces of chicken. So you make it 8 ounces of chicken to counteract the 40 carbs in that cupcake. Are you still going to lose weight? I'm like, yeah, I will. And she goes, are you going to lose weight at a fast rate? No. But she said, but if you don't think about it this way and you're like, I can't have a cupcake, I can't have a cupcake, and then you have a bite of the cupcake, what do you do? And I'm like, I might eat 3. Right. So the thing is, she was kind of explaining to me that being healthy is not staying on the 5 and 1. Being healthy is staying in balance. And so her whole point is if I have clients that are struggling, what we need to do is give them the transition and maintenance guide to teach them what those balanced fuel, how to balance carbs against protein correctly. So now you're not pigeonholed in the 5 and 1 and yo-yoing and either staying the same or gaining. So you're maybe going to do, let's say, a 3 and a 3, 3 small lean and greens and 3 of our fuelings, but now you're not restricted and you are going to lose at a slower rate. And now you can add in some exercise and actually be exercising, getting those endorphins. You're having a 3 and 3. And again, are you going to lose 10 to 12 pounds a month? No. But right now you're not losing 10 or 12 pounds a month. You're not even losing 5. So if you lost 5 on a 3 and 3 or a 4 and 2 and adding a little bit of exercise, now you're getting results. So if you're that yo-yo person that just keeps going in and out of the 5 and 1 over and over again, what if you thought about doing a 4 and 2 or a 3 and 3, understanding how to balance carbs and protein through our transition and maintenance information? So what I'm going to do in this video is my health coach took Dr. A's transition and maintenance information and made it very simple. And in the about section of this video, I'm going to put that in there so you can take a look at how to balance those carbs and protein. So like I say, if one day I want to do the oatmeal with the eggs, it's balanced. Now, the other piece you want to remember though is if I said, well, geez, I want 3 cupcakes in one day, and I'm just going to make sure I pair it with enough protein every time I do, now that's going to pose a problem, because at the end of the day, the science is still science. If you're eating more than, let's say, 1,200 calories a day and not doing massive amounts of exercise, you're going to gain weight because you're eating a lot of calories. Like those 3 cupcakes might get me up to 2,000 calories, and you know you're not going to lose weight eating 2,000 calories a day. But if you were throwing one carb that you normally wouldn't eat, like if you're that fruit person, then what if your morning was you look at Dr. A's list of low glycemic fruits, choose that, plug it into MyFitnessPal. So let's say you're going to do blueberries. You would know, let's say a cup of blueberries is, let's say, 25 carbs. Then you would need to pair it with low-fat Greek yogurt that has 25 protein to equal your 25 carbs. Are you in fat burn? No. But if you're that person that's dying over the fruit, as long as you can keep your body in balance every single time you fuel, that's what healthy people do. Healthy people aren't yo-yoing in and out of a 5 and 1. They're eating balanced carbs to protein every 3 hours and keeping their calories in check. And that's why I'm working with a dietitian that's a coach on our program. And she's like, Gwen, do you know how many clients I have that use the Optavia or MetaFast fuelings? Always, because they don't want to meal prep 6 meals a day. So they'll do 3 small lean and greens and 3 fuelings of MetaFast or Optavia, because they're balanced. And now it keeps them eating every 3 hours balanced, because they never went in on the 5-in-1 to have that yo-yo mentality. They were just using our food as an in-betweener, or to fill in the gaps in between their already healthy eating. But they were those kind of people that would only eat 3 square meals a day, and in between every time they'd eat, their blood sugar was tanking. And they get to a healthy goal weight and they keep it off, not knowing even that this 5-in-1 yo-yo exists. So look at the information below. Before you reach out to your coach after watching this video, please do not reach out to your coach asking them for a game plan until you've gone through the transition and maintenance info down below, so you understand what it is that I'm saying, because it's not their job to teach you what that looks like. It's your job to learn it, and then they will guide you through that process if that's where you choose to go. So please just know that I don't want a bunch of clients calling their coaches, freaking out, going, Gwen just said to do this. I'm saying learn what that looks like, and then decide if that's what you think you want to try. And if that's what you want to try, then talk to your coach about it. But you need to understand what the information looks like to make an educated choice for yourself, because your coach doesn't know what's going to work for you. Only you know what's going to work for you. So I hope that helps you kind of understand where I think some people's journey gets to go. Because if you're in that yo-yo cycle, just constantly just on and off, and you're staying stagnant, or you maybe lose a few pounds here or there and then gain a few pounds, and you've been doing this insanity for months on end, maybe it's time to look at that transition and maintenance information and just go to a healthy lifestyle. And by default, because you're not having all these weekends where you're eating crazy, now you're actually going to lose weight in a healthy, slower manner. So hope this spoke to you. Please comment below and let me know if this did speak to you. And like I said, do your homework on transition and maintenance, because it might not be the right thing for you. But if it is, then you have a game plan. Take that game plan to your coach, and they can help you, guide you through the process. Thanks for listening to my journey, and hopefully some of it spoke to you and might be what helps you get out of what some of us coaches call the 5-in-1 prison, because it works so good until it doesn't. So thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.